Alright, so now we have our red lentils. They have been washed and now they're ready to be boiled. Alright, so while my lentils are on the stove being boiled, I'm going to take my food processor, and here I have my seasoning. I have some onions, I have some garlic. You can use however many you want. I generally go for an entire bulb of garlic when I'm doing a big batch. I have my yellow, red, and green bell peppers. So I'm just going to cut those into smaller pieces and add them into the food processor. I also included some spinach and you can use some thyme. Ensure that you get the leaves off of the thyme. But right here I have a hot pepper. So what I'm doing now is just to cut the seeds out, remove the seeds, because that's where the spice is, in the seeds, and I don't want it to be spicy, so I just went ahead and took out the seeds. And I'm going to cut it and put it into the food processor. And again, for the thyme, just go ahead and remove the leaves from the stems and blend everything. Alright, so here I'm going to add in my chopped seasoning. So that's onion, garlic, sweet peppers, thyme, scallion. And in the jar, well, in the container, I already have a little bit of powdered seasoning, which include nutritional yeast. And I'm just gonna go ahead and mix these in, and then I'm going to add my lentils, my boiled lentils. Alright, so now my lentils have been boiled and they're soft. So now I'm going to pour it into my colander to drain off the boiling water, and then I'm going to go ahead and wash it until all the water that's coming off of it is clear and transparent. Then I'll be ready to use it. Alright, so I'm going ahead now to add my boiled lentils to my seasoning. So that's my dry seasoning and the seasoning that I cut and blended. So that's the scallion, the thyme, the peppers, the onions, the garlic, the sweet peppers, and the hot pepper. Yeah, and I also diced 2 tomatoes to add to it as well. You can add whatever it is that you like to have in your fritters. Alright, so now what we're going to do is to add some pink Himalayan salt, and you're going to salt this to taste. Alright, so now that we have our seasoning and lentils and all of the salt incorporated, I'm going to now add in some flour, just like how you'd make a regular fritter. You add flour, you add water, and you add in your other seasonings, and you can taste it. Here I have some all plant protein powder, and that's completely optional. You don't need it, but I like to incorporate this into our meals. Alright, so go ahead, add in your ingredients, and you can taste as you go along to ensure that the flavor is right. Whatever you're eating, you want to ensure that it's flavorful, it interests you, it interests your palate, not overly spicy, but something that you will enjoy, you and your family will enjoy. Alright, so after adding my flour, I'm going in now with some additional seasonings, and I'm adding now my black pepper, and then I'm going to go for the good old ground cumin. Now cumin is excellent. It's one of those Indian spices that is so good. You should try it. Definitely try it in your meals and let me know what you think. Right, I even had to go for some more. Then I'm going to add nutritional yeast again, because this is a bigger batch than I expected, so I'm adding more of the season that you would have seen before. Nutritional yeast is it has amino acids and it has other minerals and vitamins that your body would need. So it's a great spice to have in your home, especially if you're vegan or vegetarian. So I'm going ahead now to just stir this around, taste as I go along. If it's missing anything, then I go ahead and add what it needs. Right, so I have my flame on medium heat. I'm just going to take up a little at a time because my pot is very small. Yes, I know I should be using a bigger pot, but The bigger pots are being used. Why this will take me all night, so oh jeez. You know, fritters, you usually wait until you see the bubbles forming on the top before you flip them, but this, it's a little dense, so it's gonna take a little time to cook all the way through. So allow it to just cook all the way through. Careful not to let it burn, because coconut oil is one of those oils that is easy to burn when it's on high heat. So just watch it. Alright, and you flip when it's golden brown. Another tip that I learned is that once you find that your food is not sticking as much to the bottom of the pot, then it's ready to be turned. Once you see it sticking, so like this, it's not moving because I just turned it, of course. It's not ready to come out the pot yet. Yeah, so that's a tip that I learned along my journey. And something that I usually do too, my first batch of fritters, I don't even know if you can see me. If you can't see me, I'm so sorry. But what I learned along my way of making all different types of fritters is that for my first batch, I would test it, take it out and open it out. If it doesn't have the consistency that I want, I just add more flour, right? If it doesn't have the inside, that puffy inside that I'm looking for, I just add some more flour to the rest of the batter, mix it up and add it to my oil. I'm gonna turn this down now. But you don't want to turn the flame all the way down. If you do that, it's going to suck up too much oil. So if you need to continuously flip it, you do that. You do that. It should be in the frame now. My first batch was very good. And my second batch is in. Woo! Here's the first batch. I'm going to use this on breakfast instead. So good. So good. I'm just going to keep flipping mine, because I don't want them to burn, but I also want them to cook all the way through. Wow. See there? There was no need for me to put any more flour in there. I just left it as is. Yes, I'm one of those persons who eat as I go along. And there you have it, our lentil fritters. So yummy, so delicious. You should definitely give it a try.